Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to my fellow graduates. My name is Dallas Davis, and I'm proud to say that I am standing here before you tonight with a full-time job and my own place to live. With my finances in order, with a renewed relationship with my children, I grew up right here in New York City as an only child in a single-parent household. My father wasn't in the picture, and my mother was considered as a chronic alcoholic, that is. I didn't have a role model and was considered a very angry child. I was totally unmanageable. Even my teachers couldn't help me. So I guess it's no surprise that I dropped out of school in the 7th grade. And by age 15, I had left home and joined the gang. In and out of group homes, drinking and drugging. It didn't take long before I ended up homeless and living on the streets of New York City. I don't remember much kindness given to me during those years, especially during the freezing cold winters. I would do anything just to stay warm. Go in churches, abandoned buildings, even Grand Central Terminal, until the police would kick us out. They did that a lot. And that's one place where I do remember someone showing me kindness. This one man used to come, hand out sandwiches in Grand Terminal. For years, in the early 80s, I think he was there every day, just giving out these sandwiches. I remember the police used to try to stop him. They said he was attracting more homeless people to the station. But he kept coming anyway. I never really got to him because so many people would surround him. Besides, I had already just about given up on life at this point. I was dirty, stinking, nasty, and was disgusted with myself. But one day he approached me, bent down, and gave me a sandwich. And what I saw in his eyes wasn't just kindness or compassion, but recognition. He recognized that I was a human being. After a total of 48 arrests and 5 felony convictions in my adult life, I had nowhere to go, my family wanted nothing to do with me, and I had burned all my other bridges. I was going to be released into the shelter system. I kept seeing this flyer hand out, ready, willing, able. And I wondered what it was. So I asked some of the other guys, and these people who had spent more time behind bars than I did, and even some of the most hardened criminals' face lit up when I asked that question. They said, you don't know Ready, Willing, Able? Man, they can help you get a job, get your life together. Job, work, me, work. I never worked a day in my life. All I knew was how to do crimes and commit crimes to survive. Sad, right? But then something happened that convinced me to give Ready, Willing, Able a try. So when I got released to the shelter system in 2009, I thought I would try something different. I immediately started asking about Ready, Willing, Able. I begged my counselor for a referral, and lucky for me, she said I could go interview through the next one. I can go there and interview. I tossed and turned all night, But the next day, I got up, put on my shirt and tie, and marched right through the doors of Harlem Center for Opportunity. But I didn't just march right in the program. You see, I had been red flagged. After years of getting into fights and trouble all up in the shelter system, they told me that I had to wait in the lobby. Everybody else going there, I had to wait. And that's when I met Mr. Nazarene Griffin. For the first time, that was my first time seeing him. He came out and sat down next to me, looked me in the eyes, and he asked me some questions, He asked me these questions. He said, are you ready to change your life? Are you truly willing to put the work in that is needed to be done? are you able to face life on life terms? I said yes to all his questions. I told him I really wanted a chance. I wanted a chance. I needed it, you know. I was bottom out. And I had been through so many institutions in my life, jails, group homes, drug programs. I must have done them all and got kicked out, most of them. They kicked me out, you know, couldn't make it wouldn't act right. They always told me what they could do for me. Plenty of broken promises. But this was the first time I was told what I can do for myself. After 1 month of orientation, it was time to put on the blue uniform and go to work. Yeah. Now, keep it right. Gotta tell the truth. I was skeptical and said, I ain't pushing this bucket. But they said, yo, man, come on. Just down to the end of the street, man. So I told them, all right, fine. I said, okay. But that's it. That's it. To the end of the corner, that's it. That's where I'm going with this little bucket. A funny thing happened during the first few blocks. Turned out, I didn't mind at all. In fact, I kind of liked it. I was doing my thing, me and my bucket. You know what I'm saying? Before long, you know, I started realizing I wasn't just picking up trash from the streets. I was picking up integrity. I was picking up values, morals, and principles. I was picking up self-esteem. And then, when I would look back at the block I had just cleaned it, I would see what a great job I had done. And I realized that I had picked it up pride. I had picked it up honor. Ooh. But most of all, I picked it up dignity. And that's something for a homeless person, man. You know. You guys, excuse me. I did all the big routes, including Holland River Park, Madison Avenue, East Midtown, even Park Avenue. I remember seeing well-dressed people on their way to work, who would walk by me and say, hey, hi Dallas. You know, I mean, these well-dressed people on Park Avenue speaking to me, calling my name. You know what I mean? Wow, these people knew my name. During the huge snowstorm in early 2010, we was out there making paths for the elderly, for the children, for the people to get to work. Here we were, people who had slept in the garbage, in train stations, on the bridges. These whose society once thought couldn't accomplish anything. And here we was, the ones bringing the city back to life. That's when I really knew that we were somebody. You know, we were somebody. We came back with smiles in our eyes and with pride on our face. And when I got my first paycheck, ooh, that first one, ooh, that was tremendous, man. You know, that was tremendous. I used to try being macho all the time, you know, but I couldn't help myself and got a little teary-eyed. You know, someone really believed I could do something and that it was worth paying me to do. Then they helped me clear up my credit. It was so bad I thought people was going to come after me. Today they do come after me, but only to try to give me new credit cards. Huh? Holler at me. Talk to me now. What? Now, today I know about interest rate. You know what I mean? I know how to clear my credit. I know how to budget. And I know how to take a little and enjoy a lot. You might even say, I'm a bit stingy today. You know what I mean? You want $2, here's $1. And just 2 weeks ago, now listen to this here. Just 2 weeks ago, I got my first tax refund ever. After a few months of pushing the bucket, I enrolled in the energy efficient building maintenance program. At first, I was a little intimidated when I got these huge, big, giant binder notebooks full of things to study. But I was determined. You know, I ain't know nothing, couldn't do nothing, so I had to learn something. I would get up early, like 4:30 in the morning, to study before breakfast. I learned so much, man. How to work on boilers, on sprinklers. I even got my OSHA certificate. I finished at the top of my class. Not bad for someone who the teacher used to think had a learning disability. Okay? I'd like to see Miss Williams today and tell her about that. During that time, I also reconnected with my family. When I first came to Readily, Willing, and Able, they already had given up on me. I never had anything to offer, but I had plenty to take. I was just that kind of a person. Whatever in the house that was valuable was something that could help me get out. I had no respect for anything or anyone because I had no respect for myself. I didn't know about healthy relationship. I didn't know about fatherhood. I didn't know about coping. And I really didn't know my children or the woman who had given them to me. I called in my family not long after I started pushing the bucket. They knew about the program. They knew. And said, yo, you one of those guys clean the streets? Wearing blue? Well, you need to come see your children. You need to come see your kids. They said they didn't care what I wear as long as I put on that blue jacket so they could see it. You know, they want a little proof, you know what I mean? I used to say all kind of stuff, but I had to bring some proof up in there, and the blue jacket was the proof. They were giving me this, the side eye at first, but over the next few months, they began to see that instead of taking things, I started giving them. Things like advice, my assistance, money to help with the bills, and my true apology for hurting them. What my teachers couldn't do, and what those judges and program directors couldn't do. It showed me that I have potential. That's what it is. We have potential. And that it was George MacDonald must have seen in my eyes all those years ago in Grand Central Terminal, and what Nazarene Griffin saw the first day I met him, that this program has cleaned the streets in a lot of ways, picking up trash, yes, but also helping reclaim wasted lives like mine. Thank you and good night.